under these circumstances, they will wait us out, and as soon as the Navy leaves, as soon as the blockade ends, we will be back in the same situation that we began. It does not appear that we are learning any lessons.
Military action when it comes to Senator Welch. Can you talk about military action about Greenland specifically?
Well, I can't answer that directly, but a lot of opposition is expressed about that. But there's three things. First of all, this is an extraordinary military operation, but it was in service of what really appears to be a neocon fantasy. And that is that we will run Venezuela, we'll have access to their oil. And how did that work out in Iraq? How did it work out in Afghanistan? So that's the question that hasn't been answered. Second, it's great Maduro's in jail in Manhattan, but Madurismo is totally intact in Venezuela. His handpicked vice president is in charge. His very repressive interior minister is now on the rampage, repressing any kind of opposition. So there's a fair question. What have we accomplished? We've gotten rid of Maduro. He's in jail, but everything Maduro created, his drug operations, his repression, his anti-Americanism, is all totally intact.
Senator Welch, should Democrats use the appropriations process as a way to force congressional oversight in the next steps with Venezuela or Greenland or other places?
I totally support that. That's what policy is about. That's what the appropriations process is about. Whether we have the votes remains to be seen, but I totally believe there should not be support financially from the American taxpayer for another for another war that's in this case about oil.
Would that mean shutting the government down?
Clarify what you said at the top. It's unclear. You're saying because they're raising the specter of the military operation to acquire Greenland. Did that come up in there, and what are they planning on doing?
We don't know, but I'm worried.
Did they address that?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you hear a plan about how Venezuela could move towards democracy?
We heard aspirations about how it could move to, quote, stabilization. But the reality is the entire Maduro apparatus is still intact. And we know every regime is, if about nothing else, it's about self-preservation. So the United States has a lot of leverage with the oil blockade. But does that mean it has control? So what you have here is a situation where everyone is in great admiration of the capacity of our military and how they did something that was extraordinarily dangerous and complicated. But there is no answer about what comes next. Maduroismo is totally intact, and there is not a developed plan about what's going to happen. Now, the final point I want to make is that everything we heard in there, the American people should be hearing. There's no justification that anything that was said there shouldn't be said in an open hearing where the American public has total access to this major decision that has been made where we're heading in. We are in another combat situation.
Should Europe be worried about America's intentions?
Pardon me?
Should Europe be worried about America's intentions?
Europe is worried about America's intentions. Thanks.
Yeah, Tim and I made it clear that the public needs answers. Across America, people are just saying, what the hell is going on? We need answers as to how long this is going to last. We need answers to how many troops, how much money, are there guardrails, things we don't do. And a number of things that we talked about were very troubling. There's a real, I am totally dissatisfied about their answers of going into other countries, totally dissatisfied of what they might be doing in Greenland, as well as in Colombia, Mexico, and other countries. And we're also totally dissatisfied about succession. They're relying to help them run Venezuela, help Trump run Venezuela, of the most unreliable, corrupt people who hate America. So this is fraught with peril. The American people, the public, not just in a classified room, the American people need answers. Tim.
And I'll just say this, and we've got the two cabinet secretaries here, and they heard what I said in that room. We are 4 months into a sustained military operation. More than 200, quote, enemies have been killed. American troops have been injured. We have the U.S. forces arrayed around Venezuela, but neither the House nor the Senate have been willing to hold a single public hearing to put these facts before the public. Why not? We need to start doing our job. What they will do is get us in a classified setting where the leader of the Senate says, this is not for public consumption. And so the questions that we have about the legal rationale, we cannot discuss in public. The questions we have about the strategic rationale, we cannot discuss in public. About the targeting criteria, we cannot discuss in public. About what's next, is Greenland next, is Colombia or Mexico or Cuba next, it's very hard to discuss in public. We've got to get this discussion out of the skiff and into the public before it's too late.
The reason we need hearings, public hearings, is the Founding Fathers, when they gave the Congress the power to make war, knew that this is such a powerful and fraught with peril issue, making war, that a public discussion was required. They're avoiding all public discussion. To talk to us in the skiff, where we didn't get adequate answers even to our questions, but not let the American people know what they're doing, when it's the American people who have always paid the price when we try to do this regime change in blood and treasure. We need answers. We need answers to these questions, and we need them made publicly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, let's hold in place, please.
Where does this end?
I'm against everything you said. So,
Why are you doing this behind closed doors?
well, there's a lot of operational details that can't be discussed publicly, obviously, for obvious reasons. So, as we move forward, we'll describe our process, which is a threefold process in Venezuela. I've described it to them now. Step one is the stabilization of the country. We don't want it to